All right, guys, this will be the 2020 Mr. Olympia Men's Open Top 6 post-show analysis. And so let's just break it down. We'll starting with sixth place finisher Akeem Williams. Super excited to see him crack the top 6 for the first time. That's a huge achievement and well deserved. As you can see here, Akeem was on the money. He was conditioned. He was big, he was full, and he's hard, right? And look at that side chest, look at the side quad. The glutes are showing, the hamstring tie-in is showing, everything is there. Same here with the back shot. Now, Akeem has that issue with that having thicker skin, especially on his upper back, and which kind of hides his condition. But you can see the guy's in shape. He's got shredded glutes, his hamstrings are shredded. He's got lower back Christmas trees in there. The side of the quads are sharp. So everything's there. He has all the tools to continue to fight and move his way up the top 6. This is the best Akeem has ever looked. And he beat out a lot of other great competitors, including Dexter Jackson. Um, I had Dexter in my top 6 prediction getting 6th, right? And then I had Brandon winning. I had Heath coming in 2nd. I had William Bonac 3rd, Big Ramy 4th, and Rowley 5th. All right, and coming in 5th place, we have William Bonac. William looked good. He's consistent. He always comes in great shape. He's always in condition. But the last few Olympias, he's coming just a little bit flat. And to me, his quads don't look as full as they usually do. So he does look bigger from last year's Olympia, but the muscles, you see this side chest, usually that side chest is popping a lot more. Usually you can see a lot more striation and cut in the side chest and even the obliques there. So he was obviously slightly off. And when you're in a lineup like this one, you can't be slightly off and expect to do, land in the top 3. So William did look impressive here. He always does. He's always a top, 5 finisher for sure. And if he can come back in next year and just improve on his condition, bring up his legs again a bit more, and just have that fuller, crisp look, he's always a threat. He's always a threat for the title. Even though he's on the shorter side, he's fully complete head to toe, and he's like a little mini Kai Green. So my predictions, I had William coming in 3rd, but here he comes in landing in 5th place. All right, up next we have Hade Choopan landing in 4th place. Now, Hade looks great. He always brings that signature condition, fullness, and muscle hardness. He looked great. I just think there was something slightly off with Hade this year. I don't know if it's his tan. Like you can see here, if it's the color of the tan, if it's too dark, I don't know. His legs look a little downsized from last year, but he still has pretty much the same type of condition and shape he was in last year, but just, I don't know, he just looks slightly different and not as impressive. Still impressive, but just looks slightly less impressive, in my opinion, than last year. And he had a hard time with his visa getting down here last minute too. That's, the stress of traveling last minute. It's not good. He should have been here 2 weeks before, like Big Ramy, right? Settled in, ready to go, but he didn't do that. So that's on him. This is the Mr. Olympia. You want to take it serious when you get here ahead of time. But he's always a threat for the title. Um, Look at his shot here, like just dense muscle, right? And he's only been at it for 2 years in the open class. So, kudos to Hade Choopan. I'm a big fan. Great physique. And, I think the judges put him in the right spot. He could have beaten Phil, and I don't think anyone would have complained about that. I could see him beating Phil. But good job, Hade Choopan, rounding out in 4th place. All right, and coming in 3rd place, we have 7-time Mr. Olympia, the gift, Phil Heath. He didn't bring it. This time, unfortunately, I'm a big Phil Heath fan, man. I thought this guy could bring it, and you know what? He talked a lot of smack at the press conference. He seemed super confident, like I want my title back, and he didn't get it back, and it was clearly evident here that he's off. He's not as shredded as he usually is, and when you have that standard and you're known as a seven-time Mr. Olympia, and you don't bring in that razor sharp, dry condition, and the glutes aren't as sharp as they used to be. And then we also are dealing with, the midsection issues that I said in my top six predictions video that that's not going to just go away. And also taking 2 years off, you're going to lose some of that muscle density, right? And it's evident he's lost some size here. He's lost size in the quads. He's lost size in the delts. His chest isn't as full. It's not as striated, and he still has the midsection issue. So you could tell even on stage he wasn't as confident as he usually is. I think he knew it. Great bodybuilder, a huge Phil Heath fan, and it was great to see him on stage again, and it just made the show that much more exciting. But definitely he was not the same Phil Heath that he was in 2018. It was close, but it just looks like to me it looks like he might have over dieted too. Like these shots he's hitting is just not that as 3D as he used to look. And but all things considered, he still looks great. Could have Hadi Choopan beaten this, yes, but they gave it to the seven-time Mr. Olympia. He's put in his dues. But overall, it was exciting to see Phil Heath back on the stage and rounding up, coming in third place. All right, up next we got Brandon Curry, reigning Mr. Olympia, coming in second place. I was all on Team Brandon. I predicted he was going to win this show. His legs are more separated. He's in better condition. He's bigger. He did everything you're supposed to do as a Mr. Olympia. You're supposed to improve year over year, and he did. But I just think that Big Ramy was just too much for him. And Big Ramy, in some cases, was more conditioned from the glutes down than Brandon. And I think Brandon was in better condition from the glutes up over Ramy, right? But Ramy just being this mass monster, and has good proportions and symmetry. But I just think, like, look, Brandon's glutes and hamstrings are in here. It's hard to see because he's so dark, right? Sometimes you lose that appearance on stage because you're just so dark. But the dude has the best aesthetics in the game, the best symmetry in the game, and I still think he can win it back next year. I think it's gonna be a great battle next year. But I mean, a lot of these Olympia competitors now are like one and done. You got Sean Roden one and done. You have now Brandon Curry one and done. Is it going to be Big Ramy next year one and done? I hope not, but we're going to see what happens next year. Good performance by Brandon Curry. I don't think anyone is upset. All right, and final, we have Big Ramy coming in first place. Um, Coming out of prejudging, it was expected he would take the title. He was just too impressive, too overwhelming for the other athletes. Even though Brandon Curry has better aesthetics and lines and symmetry than Big Ramy, just he was on that side, especially that side chest, which seems to be his favorite pose now. Um, just the separation, the hamstring tie-in, the glutes, just amazing. He does look impressive here. If you compare him to Brandon just earlier, you can just see the glutes, the hamstrings. The hamstrings aren't necessarily as shredded and separated, but they're there. Back double bicep looks good. He does need to develop his lower lats more still, which I'm sure he can do. There's room for him to actually even get bigger still. And now that he's teamed up with Chad Nichols and Dennis James, I think if they can keep this formula, he can hold the title for some years to come and improve. and actually get bigger, right? Add more size to his back. So I think Big Ramy knew he had this. He was confident on stage. I think he knew this was his time, and he posed like he knew it was his time, and even more so than Brandon did. Brandon was good on stage, but man, Ramy was confident and smiling and having a good time out there. So super happy to see Big Ramy take the title home. I know Big Ramy. He's eaten my meals for my company before, and so just a super nice, humble guy, and excited for him to be the new 2020 Mr. Olympia champion. All right, guys, like and subscribe if you like what you saw, and I'll catch you on the next one.